Hey guys, Parfax here, and today is my video on getting from 1 to 60 in New World. All right, let's get started. So for those of you that don't know, I started a new character and I wanted to bring you guys a series of videos really giving you guys the new player experience. Well, when it comes to that, the first thing that I had to do was, of course, level to 60. And as you can see, my character is 60. And before you go on Parfax, I'm sure this is your main character. We can go here and just look at our weapon mastery, and you can see it is extremely pitiful. On my main character, all these are maxed out, and here, oh man, it's got a lot to be desired. Now, this video is going to bring you some tips and tricks while getting from 1 to 60, how I suggest you to get from 1 to 60, and a couple ways you can go about it. You know, whether you want to focus a little bit more on money, if you just want to get there as fast as possible, or just kind of however you want to do it. So let's really get into it. So my character here at 60, I really leveled almost the same ways I did last time. Now, I tried a couple different things. I tried doing quests. I tried going and doing portals. I tried doing town board missions, and I tried grinding mobs. Now, while doing this, I will say that a lot of it I did do during the double XP weekend, but I did level from about 13 to 60 all in one weekend. So I still did this pretty quickly, and I didn't, play that hard over the weekend. I still had other things I had to do, and I still got to 60. So I'm going to show you my main method. I'm going to give you a couple cool places to do some gathering, which is going to play a really big part in how I got to 60 so quickly, but I'm going to give you some alternate ways to do it as well. So first off, let's talk about how I did it, and it is basically through these town board missions. So as you can see here, where I'm at, they don't have full town boards up, which is pretty standard now in New World. So unfortunately, unlike, early in the game, you don't have 4 sets of missions, but we actually do have a pretty big advantage when it comes to town boards right now that we didn't have back then. And that's really that the Azoth cost is super low. So what town board missions are they're just missions that help upgrade the town, help upkeep the town, and every town's at least going to have 3 missions up. So the missions we're specifically looking for, we do like these ones that give materials, and we like the ones that are weaponsmithing and armor smithing. We do like the cooking ones as well, but you'll find that a lot of the cooking missions are really expensive compared to like the armor and weaponsmithing ones. So those are the ones we're going to particularly focus on. If you see things like 50 iron ingots, or even ones that are like 90 coarse leather, don't feel like you have to turn them in, because we're going to be using a lot of that material to get our armor or weaponsmithing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one right here, just to kind of show you what goes on. So I hope I have the materials for it. If not, we'll probably buy some on the market. But we just go to the forge. We don't have enough. We need coarse leather. So let's just grab 5 coarse leather off the market. Now, typically I would farm this, and I will show you a great place to farm most of your stuff here in a minute. But let's buy 5 coarse leather. And we're going to craft this. Now, here's the thing to keep note of. So the reason why this method is so good, and why people don't, if you don't play the game that much, you don't see it as that good, is because we're actually like double, triple, and quadruple tapping into the experience here. So I don't know, it might bump me up. So let's go ahead and craft it. So it got me to 70. So now you can't see it because I am already 60, but because I ticked up and I went from 69 to 70, I'll actually get experience there. I get experience for crafting it. I get experience when I tick up, and I'm going to go grab experience when I turn it in. Having said that, you also get experience while gathering, and then you get experience when refining. So you keep getting experience down the line, like over and over and over again, which is the reason why this method is so good. So then now we finished it, we come here to our town board, and as you can see here, we get 661 experience, we get 250 territory standing, we get a little bit of coins, which is not a whole lot. So we're gonna complete it. Tells us again what we're gonna get, and we've completed. Now, they have nerfed this since launch. This is now 30 minutes, but we have a way around that. So the one big thing to note when you're doing this, when it comes to just teleporting all around, is you really want to have, if possible, this Restless Shore fort. Now, I didn't have it for a lot of mine. It was locked basically 2 days at least of the weekend when I was leveling. I did have it there for a little bit towards the end. But while you're leveling this, if you're doing strictly the town board method, like mainly I did, the one thing you can do is do these missions. You can teleport all around. So you can go down to First Light, Cutlass. I started getting the towns just so that I could do town board missions. And then once you've gotten to that point, you do a couple of your main story quests. You can see here I'm all the way up to the Shattered Mountain. You do the main story quest. When you get, 500, 600, 700 A's off, then you can go and just go town board, town board, town board, town board. Also, one thing to note is every time you walk into town, even if you're not doing the town board method, make sure you go over and click it. Sometimes it'll have like, give some feathers, give some flint, go here and, you can go to this place and search a chest. You're going to have a lot of good experience gains you can get from the town board mission, even if you're not focusing on that strategy. So make sure you're doing that. Now, the one thing I will say, and it's the biggest downside of this method, is you don't get a lot of coins. I'm only at 1,700. Now, we did buy a full set of gear, and we actually have made a little bit of money too, but this method's not going to make you really any money. Realistically, it's going to make you use all of your money to level up. Now, I'm okay with that because I'm just trying to get to 60, and then I can start making money. If you want to see a money-making guide for every player, feel free to comment down below because I have a lot of ways you can make a lot of money, even with almost no currency and with a whole lot of nothing. Now, before we go into the other ways of leveling, I want to show you another benefit of using this method, and that is it levels up a lot of your trade skills. So in New World, trade skills can be pretty important. Now, you don't necessarily have to get any of your crafting up, and you don't necessarily have to get any of your gathering up, but these are going to be ways not only can you make money, but they're going to allow you to be self-sufficient. If you didn't know, each of the refining have a daily cooldown that you can do, and specifically the leather working, the weaving, and the smelting are very profitable. You can make upwards of 1,000, 2,000, even sometimes 3,000 a day just by doing your refining. So what I'm doing is I'm going out and I am gathering. You can see here we actually hit 200 in skinning, and we'll show you why. And we have almost over 100 in everything else, and I don't fish. And I didn't have to do that much mining, but it is a great way to kind of, again, we are double, tripling, and quadrupling our experience because every time I take up one of these levels, we're going to get some experience. So we're getting experience here. We're getting experience, because we're gathering, we're refining it, which is going to give us experience. And then we are crafting it, which is going to give us more experience, which gives us more experience from leveling up, which we're turning those in and getting more experience. So when you look at the town board, like Parfax, it only says 616. Well, you're actually getting a lot more than that because you, like I said, continuously get experience along the way, and you're getting multiple layers of experience, which is the reason why town boards are so crazy. So yes, you can level up your gathering and stuff like that because you're going to be doing a lot of it. I will say on my journey from 1 to 60, I didn't have anybody help me out. I didn't pour any money over to my character. This was 100% just me. I had people even offering to level me up. They're like, hey, I can give you a bunch of cooking supplies. Let me level you to 200. I was like, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm going to do this solo just like any random person. The only person that I asked for help, I was doing there's a quest where you have to kill 3 corrupted breaches, and I asked somebody to come help me there, but that's not going to be any different than any other game, and it's an MMO. You want to play with people. So, feel free to ask for help. You can actually get a lot more help than I did. You can even, if you join a guild, a lot of times people will be willing to, give you a bunch of materials and stuff like that that are just, for them, worthless. They might have a bunch of feathers laying around. Feathers are a big thing on the town boards. They have 1,000 feathers laying around. Heck, that's a lot of just free experience you're going to get. So feel free to ask for help. But in this mission that I did, I had absolutely no help. The next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about before we go into kind of the other ways was I did complete a PvP track. Now, I had recorded this video at one point, and I kind of scrapped it because I didn't like how it turned out. Because actually, I was 59, and there's experience on this reward track, and that's what hit me to 60. But you can, not that you should ever focus on the PvP track, because it's actually bad for you to focus on the PvP track while leveling up, and honestly, before you get to a high expertise, because the gear that you get here is absolutely great for PvP, but you want to have your expertise up around when you get to track 5, once you complete track 5, so that way you can actually get that gear at the level that you need it to be. Now, you will get that gear again, so you don't have to worry about it too much, but if you are out PvPing and having fun, and we'll show you one little quick way to make a little bit of money, and something that I haven't done a whole lot of. When you get these checkpoints, you can't get experience. I got 2 checkpoints with experience, checkpoint 1 and 3, had experience on it, which I did take, which was, it wasn't a ton, but it was a nice little boost. You can see here, we have a lot of Azoth Salt, and realistically, you just get it for doing absolutely anything in the game. Every once in a while, to randomly give you a bunch. I didn't do that much PvP. We did a little bit of PvP, but we got a lot of Azoth Salt, so feel free to spend it on whatever you want. You can do the potion packs if you want, but I want to do the experience because I thought it was pretty cool. And by the time I got closer to 60, I really didn't need to get any of the gear that was on there. So one thing I do recommend everybody do, whether or not you're doing this method, whether you're doing the leveling, whether you're just going really slow, is make sure you're doing your 3 faction missions every day. So as you can see here, I haven't done a whole lot of them, but I did do most of my 3 faction missions a day. But the reason why we're doing faction missions is not only because you can get some coin, which I used all my faction tokens to get these common material converters, which is going to be, once you get into the 2nd tier, you can start getting some decent money by doing it that way. These converters on all levels right now are probably the best thing for you to buy just to get straight up coin. But you really need to progress your track. And also, you get this daily bonus of 3. So you can see here, we can get 135 coins, 67 coins, 22 coins. So it's not a whole lot, and it does depend on where you go. I would definitely go to the highest level zone that you possibly can do it, and you're going to get some reputation you're going to need, and you're going to get a nice chunk of coins every day. You can get a couple hundred coins from these, depending on which zone you do every day, and that's just a bunch of free experience you're going to have to do anyway. So make sure you're doing your 3 daily quests a day. Next, I want to quickly talk about questing. And I did a little bit of questing, but honestly, I didn't do a whole lot. The one upside to questing, and this is something that I would suggest honestly anybody do if you're just looking to enjoy the game. Sorry, she's talking really loud right now. Is do questing, because it's going to give you a lot of gear. While leveling up for myself, I didn't have a whole lot of gear. I did have to buy some gear on the auction house. I did do a couple things to get some gear, which were mainly like portals. I did some quests, a few quests and zones. But the reason why to do quests is they actually give a lot of coin. They don't give a ton in experience for the amount of time that it takes to do it. But if you would go the questing route and do a lot of the quests in the zones, you will get a lot of money. So you see that quest gives me 78. Let's go to a little bit higher level zone. And let's just go to Weaver's Fen here. We actually haven't even been to Morning yet. So we're going to go over to Weaver's Fen, and we're going to see how much coin those give us, because it is a great way to make money while you're leveling. This was, when we first started the game, the primary way to actually make money, and you can actually make quite a few thousand coins off of doing your quests in general. Now, the one thing that I would do if you're doing town boards, and let's say you're getting ahead of the zone that you're in, if you're not a completionist like me, Once you've out leveled the zone, and if you don't know what level the zones are, if you scroll out, each zone has a level requirement in there. So let's say if I'm in Weaver's Fen, once I get to like 42, 43, and I'm kind of like, and I'm not really getting a whole lot from the zone, I would then just move over and start doing quests in Restless Shore. As you can see here, there's a bunch of quests everywhere. So let's go over here to Weaver's Fen. You saw that Winsburg gave us 78, and we're gonna go and just check out how much these quests give you. Now, honestly, I don't know exactly how much each give you. I have an estimate. This should be a little over 100. Say 120.
That's the idea.
No, 77. So this one gives the exact same. So let's go check a couple more just to make sure. I know some of the quests here will give you more coins. Oh, I didn't mean to. That was 76. So it gave right around the same. So that's not too bad. But honestly, when you do these quests, you're going to make a lot of coin. I remember when doing these quests that there's 110. I knew there were some 100 ones in here. And not every quest in Windsor gives that much. But yeah, so just do the quest in your zone, because then remember, we're just trying to double up as much experience as possible. And that is going to take place in the zones that give us the correct amount of experience. As long as we are close to the mob's level, we're going to be getting the most experience we possibly can. All right, so we've talked about questing. We've talked about town boards. You can also do portals. Now, honestly, if you're on a server like mine or most of the servers, people don't do portals much anymore. It is probably one of the best ways to actually level if you're not just spamming town boards. It's going to give you some coins. It's going to give you some gear. It's realistically going to give you a lot of things that you want. It's going to give you Azoth to do the fast traveling to other zones, but they don't do them a whole lot. I got to do them one. I was 55, and we did a bunch of level 60 portals. I did die quite a few times, probably 4 or 5 times. But it was still pretty good experience. I got some decent amount of gear from it for my level, and I got some coins, Azoth, all that good stuff. So it was pretty good. It's something that I suggest you doing if you see it, because you're not going to see it that often. But it's not something you're going to be reliably able to do unless your guild can kind of help you out with it. Now, we've kind of talked about the few ways of leveling. Let me show you a few places where you can kind of get everything you need. So we're not going to go the complete route because it does take a little bit of time. But if you are looking for something like iron ore, which is going to be one of the harder things for you to find, the route, I basically went from the Hermit Shrine here, and I kind of ran down towards Explorer's Vista, or you can just go to Explorer's Vista, and all this area right here has a bunch of iron ore in it. If you get there at a good time, I was able to go through a route through here, and I kind of bordered up against Cutlass Keys here, and there's a bunch of ore there, and I was able to completely fill my banks. Now, the reason why sometimes I'd start up here is because this has one of the best places for hemp. So while you're going out and you're trying to do a bunch of your quests, we're doing town boards, we're just leveling up our gathering, there's gonna be 3 main ingredients that we're gonna need. Well, technically 5, but the 3 ones that you can't just get readily pretty much anywhere are gonna be hemp, leather, and ore. So here is one of my favorite places to gather hemp. Looks like there's somebody has gathered a bunch here, but you can go out here and there is a massive amount of hemp. All right, so you can see here we have some hemp here. Now, normally there's a little bit more, but somebody must be out here gathering it. You can go over here and you can see here, there's a ton of hemp over there. But basically this area is loaded with hemp, and it does have some herbs across that river by that big tree over there. So there's some herbs, and you'll find some herbs laying around as well. That herbs, honestly, are a great way to make money. They actually go for a pretty premium on most servers because you need so much of it to make your alkahest, and it's pretty pricey. So I did a couple times sell some of my herbs for some money, but this is a great place to get herbs and hemp and herbs. But make sure you're grabbing up a lot of that stuff as you see it, because you're gonna need a lot of it, especially doing town board missions, but you're gonna wanna level your gathering anyway. Now, the one thing I did do is I did at one point upgrade my tools to tier 3 once I got there. Honestly, you're just gonna be able to find something that you can afford. If you can get like efficiency, that's good. That's probably gonna be your best early on. It's not best later, but just because we are so slow to gather, you can see here, It's actually pretty slow. It's not bad right now because we are gathering hemp, but it can be pretty slow gathering. So try to get efficiency as much as possible, but realistically, just get whatever you want, and it'll be just fine. As you can see, now the hemp is starting to respawn over there. So this is really good, but let me take you to my favorite spot. Before we go there, I did go over here to the wolf cave and go up here to the wolf cave when you really just get started leveling to get your first few levels into skinning. But once you get your skinning to 70, we have a really good spot to farm up almost everything. I spent a ton of time there. It's not a really well-known spot for gathering in general, and it has a lot of stuff. So let's go there. We'll show you that spot, and then I will kind of show you my gear and kind of tell you how much I paid for each one of them. All right, let's go, and I will show you the spot. All right, so here we are. No, I'm just kidding. So this is a spot that is very contested. There's a lot of people that come here. And I was here trying to farm up some, some hide, and I kind of stumbled on this spot. So instead of going there, I will go over here. We'll kill a couple of these as we go. We're not going to skin them right now because we don't want the video to drag out too long. But the spot over here is actually really, really good, and I will show you why. So we go over here, and I'm killing this. Like Parfex, there's not a whole lot here. Well, we got a little bit of hemp here. But once we start getting over here, there are a few mobs. We have 4 right here. There's actually, I think, 1 over the hill, too. And then we have, there's another one right there. But even better than that, we're going to go up in this hill, and we get a lot more stuff. We have another little lion there, little lynx. And when we get up here, we have another little piggy that we can kill. They don't give you a whole lot, but they do give you pork, which is going to be really good. But once you get up here, you're going to have some iron ore. And there's hemp up here as well. I believe it should be over here. Actually, you have some iron ore nodes. You have some more mobs. And then you have some... what these are called, but you need these for Arcana. I forget what tendrils give you. I have some. Oh, fungals. Yes, the fungal spores. You actually need this for a quest too. So when you come up here, you can get these. And then we're gonna go down here. Oh, okay. There's hemp up here too, but that guy I believe got it. But for sure, come down here, and we have some more mobs. You have that pig behind me. You have that pig right there. We have some more of these. We have some more hemp, and we have some dogs and some herbs. So I spent a ton of time here. You can see here, there's a bunch of different mobs. We have this pig. We have a bunch of cats around. We have some fungal spores. We have some hemp. We have some herbs, and we have some iron. Now, there's not a whole lot of iron, so you might have to do the run down there, and then there's some more iron over here. So we have a handful of iron spots. We have a handful of hemp spots. We have a bunch of, mobs, and we have some herbs. So this area I would spend a ton of time at, and it is basically right here, sort of by the Rusty Spoon camp. We're on the east side. We're basically focusing on this area right here. Now, if you get really fast and you kill the mobs, you can go back over this way and kill the mobs here. But essentially, you can do a loop and basically take everything that's in this circle right here. And then if stuff is spawned up, if stuff, hasn't spawned fast enough, you can go over here and gather up some more of the hemp and some of the more cats. So I spent a ton of time here. It was a lot of fun. You get so much stuff here. It is honestly one of my favorite spots to gather if you're just trying to gather up a lot of stuff. Now, obviously, you're still going to need stuff like water. Water's a big thing, so I suggest you sitting down and gathering up 1,000 water. One thing that is kind of a nice little tip I'll let you know is if you see here, if you put the water in your inventory, it doesn't actually have any weight. You put it in my inventory, it goes to 28 or 284. But if I go ahead and put it on my character here in one of my slots, it actually doesn't take the weight. So that's a great way to have 1,000 water on you. And because it is water, if you hit it, it's going to give you a nice little 10-second health buff. Now, it's not big, and you can find a lot of these like basic meals and stuff like that, which you're going to need to buy if you want to do. You don't need to buy them, but a lot of them are used in the town board missions, and a lot of them are super cheap. Now, a lot of the ones that are a little bit more used in the town board missions are a little bit more expensive, like energizing light rations and your light rations, but you can get a lot of these super cheap, and it's just great to have these while you're leveling, because you can just pop it instead of having to hit a potion, which are kind of expensive and you don't get that many of it. You just pop a light meal and it gives you a nice little health regen, not only while it's ticking, while it's up, but it gives you a 20-second regen when you hit it. So you can see here, I'll hit 1 and we get that 20 seconds of health regen. It's really good, and I suggest everybody make sure you get as much as those as possible, because it's going to really help you while leveling, and you can use them for some experience as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry this video was absolutely long, but I wanted to bring you guys pretty much a breakdown of how I got to 50, or sorry, I don't know why I keep saying 50, how I got to 60, and to let you guys know exactly what's going on. Oh, before we forget, let's show you my gear. Hold on real quick. So this is the gear. I bought all this stuff. All my armor pieces I bought for under 100. The jewelry I bought for a little bit more than that, and then I bought these weapons for a couple hundred a piece, including this little nice sword here. So basically we are going mainly hatchet, sword, and shield. We wanted to go in light armor, so we're looking for strength dex gear, but we're mainly going to focus on strength. So we have strength dex here. We just have refreshing beast war. They just have a whole lot of light helms on the market. I'm on a really weird server. I have this piece which I actually really like, has shirking fortification, con, and luck on it. So the prioritization here is stuff like refreshing, shirking fortification. Luck is really good too when you're just leveling, and we're looking for mainly strength as a stat, then con, and then dex. So we have here shirking fortification, luck, con. This is probably my best piece. And then I have dex con here with the reverse backstab, which doesn't really matter. It was just they didn't have a whole lot of light pieces. And then we have our pants here, which isn't bad. We have strength, luck, invigorated. Invigorated's not a great perk, but it is a decent little perk. Then we have light footwear here, refreshing ward, preventing throw. Again, they didn't have a whole lot on the market, but it is 596, so it gives us a little bit of tankiness. We did get this really good round shield for I think 500, which was enchanted, keenly empowered, and luck. This is almost what I would consider BIS for what I'm specifically using it right now. It is not BIS in the long term, but this is a pretty fantastic shield. We have our hatchet here, which you did pay like 444. We have chain fire enchanted. This is gonna be really good, especially in something like Gen. We have our strength dex sword with vicious, hated, and keenly empowered. You really do not want that hated perk on there, and I will have to buy another one. Come on, okay. And you're gonna have to buy another one, especially next patch, because that hated's gonna get through the roof. But it was a pretty insane sword other than the hated, so we went ahead and bought it. And for solo play, hated doesn't matter anything, but if you start going to dungeons, which I'm going to need to, it's gonna be pretty bad. And then we have an amulet here with strength, con, health. That's all I wanted. It was a couple hundred. Health is a big one to get. It's probably the biggest stat you need on your amulet. Just get a health one if you can possibly find it. If you do all of your quests up here in Great Cleave, Eden Grove, and Shattered Mountain, it gives you an absolutely crazy strength amulet. So if you want to go ahead and do that, it'll give you a couple tuning orbs, depending on, I don't know what they're going to change it out for the next patch, because tuning orbs are going away. But you can get a pretty insane amulet up in here. It's pretty crazy. But it is strength. And then we have just a hardy, refreshing ring, Dexcon. Still pretty good. It is a very good ring. We got it for pretty cheap. And then we have an earring with refreshing evasion, regenerating, and strength. So nothing crazy. And then we did buy this bow with refreshing move enchanted. This I bought for, I think this is the most expensive piece of gear, and it was almost 500. I'm not even maining bow, but I thought, man, that is a pretty incredible bow for what I'm looking for. It is kind of not BIS by any means, but it is really, really good. So I had to pick it up. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see. Do you want to see me focus more on making money? Do you want to see me focus on getting my expertise up. What do you guys want to see when it comes to, the new player experience? All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.